How you doing, guys? Coke Daniels, writer, director, extraordinaire, producer sometimes when I have to be. But my main thing is writing and directing.
Coke, man, it's
Nice.
so good to have you on the podcast. Can you tell everybody sort of a little background of what you've done in the past,
Okay.
what you're working on now, what you're excited about now?
Okay. Well, I started off in the industry honestly, in the late '80s, early '90s. I was a hip hop artist. We were the first group signed to Loud Records. We were a group called Madcap. Loud went on to sign Wu Tang and Licks and countless Akon, Big Pun, like too many to name, iconic hip hop labels. So that's how I kind of started off in entertainment and spent much of the '90s, being in different underground hip hop groups and things like that. Which is where I met Eddie Griffin. And Eddie Griffin, I came up with an idea for a film called My Baby's Mama originally. It got switched to My Baby's Daddy. We set it up at Miramax. And it don't ask why either. They were like, nobody knows what Baby's Mama is. Let's call it Baby's Daddy. What is the damn difference? Whatever. Call it whatever. Let's just put it out. I'm over it.
Right.
But
Get it done.
So yeah, we did that film. I was just a writer and co-producer on that. And it's so crazy, rest in peace, John Amos and Tiny Lister. They were both in that film, and both of them at different times, and as well as Eddie, they all just was like, you need to be a director. Like, your voice is too strong just to be a writer. Because I was on the set giving the executives hell. Like, what are you doing with the script? What is this? Who is this director? Just a mess. But they let me know exactly. I mean, actually, an executive named Jeremy Kramer, who was at Miramax at the time. I think he was at Fox last time I checked, but he was like, go out, do some movies on your own, scrape up some money, come back, and then we'll do some films with you. They still haven't done any films with me. We're not going to talk about that. But in any event, I went on to directing. I did Who Made the Potato Salad was my directorial debut. Came out through Fox. It's like considered a cult classic. Every Thanksgiving, you see millions of hits of the dinner scene with Jaleel White and BB Drake and Ronaldo Ray and Clifton Powell and D. Ray Davis. Like, this was my first film to be able to work with all these icons. It was just amazing. So I just, fell in love. And after that, I just been knocking out indie after indie. Some of them you never heard of them. Some of you heard of them, but they've all just been a learning lesson leading up into, just to make a long story long, I would say Karen was kind of the one where I turned the corner in the industry and finally, had a legitimate budget, a film that was timely. It was in the right genre where it made people really recognize me more so as a filmmaker. And then, most currently we got The Water Boys, the film that I have out now on Amazon Prime and YouTube and Google Play and a couple other platforms, cable. A lot of the cable networks have it on for rent or to purchase. That's with Quavo and Lala and Omar Dorsey and Akili McDowell, a lot of amazing actors as well. So I'm just continuing the journey. I'm writing all the time, thinking about what's next and, moving in that direction, man. It's hard to hit a moving target.
Nice.
Here.
Nice.
That's an incredible resume, and shout out to Omar Dorsey. We met him in 2015. He was one of the attendees of Dick Gregory's Star on the Walk of Fame.
Okay.
And we were all at the W together, and there was Omar Dorsey, there was Stevie Wonder,
Nice.
Lakeith Stanfield before Lakeith was Lakeith, and Dick Gregory had a way of just bringing out just everybody. And,
I got to meet. That's a whole nother book or movie I'm gonna write one day. It's just all the people I met and hung out, not even just met, but hung out with, being around Eddie Griffin in the early 2000s. Like, he used to always. He would just pick a restaurant in Hollywood and just take it over. And every night we would just be up there and you'd walk in, it'd be everybody from Dr. Dre to O.J. Simpson to, LaToya Jackson. One time we ended up getting flown to Miami to meet Michael Jackson, messing with Eddie. So that's just a whole another film but Dick Gregory, many a times I got to hang out with Dick and be under that tutelage of him and Bill Duke, plenty of dinners and glasses of wine and so yeah, it was an amazing experience. It definitely, being under Eddie's kind of mentorship definitely helped craft what I do in so many ways.
A lot of degrees,
but Omar's my guy though. Back to Omar, that's my brother, and we got some stuff that we're working on as well. Yeah,
he's super talented, man. And
man.
we don't have a lot of degrees of separation between us, so it seems like this podcast was inevitable.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're both light skinned, so you weren't at the meeting. You weren't the last like, and you let him call you chocolate. So we're gonna talk later about all that. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
He's like, man.
I'll tell you
he's gotta be
my
chocolate
secret.
and caramel. You know, he's like, you gotta stop tripping.
I'll tell you my secrets how you get called chocolate as a light skinned dude.
So man, you know, I don't need to know. I'm from the Shaolin Temple as well.
Exactly.
So,
That's right. Yeah.
I love
36
that.
chambers,
So,
man.
the Hung
36
Lo
chambers.
Temple actually is the cousin
That's
of the
right.
Shaolin Temple.
Hey, you know, see, Chris,
Hey, can they edit
you
that
practice.
out? Edit that out.
No, you
No, we
practice
keeping
that,
that.
man. You practice
nice.
that. I practice Long Wang. Okay, so you
Okay,
ain't gotta.
that's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Namaste.
Yeah, it's like, that's right. You're ready. Watch this. Ready? But
Yeah.
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 Well done. Well, you bring up Eddie Griffin. I am curious. This is really great for filmmakers to know. I mean, you're in hip hop. You're in this. Loud Records was super legit, man. I'm an old head when it comes to hip hop. I remember Loud Records. I feel like I remember Madcap as well. How did you make that pitch to Eddie Griffin?
Oh, so the dope thing about it is we were kind of on the rise at the same time. You know, I'm not going to age myself. I'm a little younger than Eddie, not much though. But he actually came to the Madcap listening party. He was friends with we had a mutual friend that brought him to our listening party, and this might even been pre Def Jam Eddie. I don't even know if he was on Def Jam yet, so he wasn't really like becoming the guy. You know, so I went on to, you know, Madcap. We went on tour. We were doing our thing. You know, I did a second solo album with Loud Records. You know, so it was probably many years later that me and Eddie reconnected when I came up with the idea for the movie. And, you know, he remembered me, and he just liked my tenacity and the fact that, like, a lot of people was coming at him with ideas. I had a script, and he couldn't believe that. You know what I mean? He was like, wait, you got a script? Because, you know, people, like I said, it was literally like the dinner of thieves. You know, you just go up there, it's nothing but these comedians and actors and gangsters and models, and you know, you don't know who's going to be sitting with Eddie Griffin, but it was always people pitching ideas. But I had a script, so he loved the script, and I think more so, to be honest with you, you know, I think he just rocked with me. You know, the script, because I wish I could find that initial script, because I guarantee you it wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? I think he just really, I think he liked the concept, and he rocked with me, and also he kind of seen me on a different level because he seen me in Madcap first. You know, he seen me, like, we had our listening party at the Church of Scientology, and all the who's who of Hollywood was there then. Like, you know, we were doing our thing. It's just, I eventually just fell out of love with music because all the things that were going on that still, you know, unfortunately tarnished the culture to this day, you know, with the gun violence and people getting killed and things like that. I wasn't about that. I was a Tribe Called Quest, BDP, you know, Eric B. and Rakim rapper. And once it got away from that, I just wasn't really into it no more. So he took a huge chance on me, and he really went hard to get Baby's Daddy done. And I'm, you know, eternally grateful to him. And in turn, I try to snatch people up like that as well, and see the, you know, the potential in them and invest in them, especially because, you know, urban filmmakers and creatives, like, it's a very small world, you know, and there's not a lot of support. You know, the majority of films that are getting greenlit every year are not films made by urban filmmakers and urban genres and, you know, things like that. So it's, you know, it's important that we yank each other up whenever we can. You know, the talented ones. I mean, I'm gonna go with the talent first, but I feel like I got to pay that forward because, just, it had no rhyme. My story makes no sense as it relates to the film business. Even Miramax executives were like, this was Baby's Daddy. They were like, Cope, so how many other scripts have you written? I'm like, none. They're like, what? They're like, this is your first script that you ever wrote? Yeah. I was so green, I didn't even I was still half a rapper, by the way. I'm still coming around, smelling like weed, afro, sagging. Like, I was still, until I had to learn, like, okay, you're in a different lane now. You gotta move a little differently. Keep that grit to your artistry, but definitely, you know, the presentation, you know, had to become a little more refined, especially as I've gotten older. But yeah, my story doesn't make any sense. It's like, I wrote this script. I knew Eddie Griffin. I gave him the script. 2 years later, we're on the set of a $10 million film with Eddie, Anthony Anderson, Method Man, Michael Imperioli, Bei Ling. Like I said, John Amos, man. He really, I was just reflecting on him the other day when he passed away, because he like, one day I'll just tell it, John wouldn't care. We came in, we were smelling like cannabis, me and one of Eddie's partners, right? So we breezed past John, and John is like, he leaned into me, he's like, And I just met John, and I'm still like, oh my God, this is John Amos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to say nothing to this man, because I know how to play my position with Eddie too. I didn't try to overshadow whatever he had going on with folks. So I would always just lay back in the cut and observe, you know. But he was like, "You got something to smoke?" So I turned. I was like,
"Wait, what?"
I said, "You smoke weed?" He's like, "No, I'm taking a fucking survey." He's like, so we go outside, and I'm telling me and my other buddy Bird, rest in peace. He was Eddie's bodyguard. He passed away, but me, him, and Bird sat in this truck out in Toronto for probably like 3 hours just smoking, and he told us the whole. It sticks with me to this day because it definitely is something to help inform me on how to carry my artistry, because I think he's seen I had that same kind of resilience and grit that he had that ended up not being the demise, but just definitely, that's why they got rid of him off of Good Times, because he was battling with the writers. Yeah, he didn't want to he didn't want to betray stereotypes, and he was butting heads with the writers and what's my man's name? The iconic producer. Lear. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name.
Norman Lear,
right?
Yeah. John even told me, he said he was getting into it so tough on him, he had to bring a gun to set a couple days, you know? So but he just definitely gave me the speech about, man, your voice is way too strong to be a writer. And I learned, like, the industry really, they respect writers to a certain degree. It's definitely a filmmaker's medium. That's the ultimate voice of authority, you know? So I'm a Leo. And I'm light skinned from the 80s, so I had to be the ultimate voice of authority. Like, I can't, you know, I just couldn't just like and I could have made a gang of money. I made a lot of money on Baby's Daddy just writing, but it drained me. It just wasn't creatively fulfilling. And so I went on that long, dark road of independence and ate a lot of top ramen.
There you go.
You know what's good about top ramen? You can mix it up with a lot of different things.
You can make
it becomes like a delicacy.
That's right.
You can put shrimp. Usually hot dogs, but on a good day you put some shrimp in there. You know what I'm saying?
Man, the college thing was the hot dogs. I did that I don't know how many times. But yeah, you can spice it up with a little shrimp. You get
close your eyes
onions,
real good. You feel like you're at Benihana's. Yeah, just close
right.
your eyes and like I'm at Benihana's. But
hey, get those chopsticks too, bro. That's all I gotta say. Like,
I never went that far. I feel you though.
Come on, man, you gotta step
your game up. But I tell people all the time when I spoke at Morehouse recently to the film students there, and I told them, learn to love top ramen. It's going to be your friend. Trust me. And if it's not, you're probably not really good at what you do. You know, that's one thing that I've learned too. I've seen people come and go. It's like, man, how does this dude come in the film industry and get first film, $5 million, $10 million budget, but then he's not around no more because he didn't really go through the motions. You know what I'm saying? So I ramble a lot. You cut me off anytime you just want to be like,
that's a great story. And I was going to mention something about Good Times. Like, what I also understand is that Esther Roll basically is the person who got him on the show in the first place. Because I believe that the show was supposed to portray exactly the whole single mother situation. And she was like, no, I'm not doing this if you don't bring him into the show to begin with. So she was already fighting that stereotype.
And I'm going to tell you the truth. You know what? As you're saying this, we don't hear these stories anymore. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we don't hear those stories of like, at least, you know, and I've been around, and I've been in everybody's office. I pitched everybody. So I'm pretty well in tune with the industry. And I could just say, for the urban film industry, Black Hollywood, which I always say doesn't really exist. It's just, you know, because it's, you know what it is? It's such a small space. So it's very competitive. Like I was explaining earlier, not a lot of Black films get greenlit every year. And then not a lot of Black filmmakers are allowed to level up and get into like episodic television or creating their own shows and things like that. So it's a very competitive space. So people don't really advocate for one another anymore. And I just, you know, I wish we could get some of that back because it's really important. Because I'm familiar with that story as well, that she, you know, insisted that she had to have a husband, and they listened to her. And Good Times wouldn't have been Good Times without John Amos,
without James, without James.
And
the thing is, man,
who would have died? Who would have died when she was damn,
bro. And when I'm telling you, like, when he died, you know, that's exactly the gift that I sent to my brothers was damn. Yeah. That's just 100%. But the thing is that when you know the story behind her demanding that he be on the show, that damn moment, it means something totally different.
I didn't even think about that. God. You're right. Bro, she probably was really pissed off that they did that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was done behind politics. They wrote him off the show because he didn't want to play ball.
Yeah. And
then, you know what sucks about that is
watch it again.
When it's a person of color, they're difficult. When it's not a person of color, they're creative. You know what I mean? And it's
Creative
like, and
differences.
all directors are difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because there's never enough money, there's never enough days, there's never enough creative control. You know, even though I do independent films, there's still compromises that need to be made, particularly as it relates to
Yeah.
budgets. But it just, you know, it's very, you know, it's you shouldn't get if you're a good filmmaker, you shouldn't get along with producers, like, and they shouldn't get along with you. I mean, you could be friends later, you know, but when we're working
Right.
and I'm telling you, I need this crane, and you're telling me, no, we're going to go into overtime. Like, all right, we can go out back and settle this right now, like gentlemen.
Right.
And then I usually get the crane. I'll just say that. I won't
Right.
speak on anything else, but I usually end up with the
Right.
crane.